Shalom Aleichem, a guten Kvittel, soll sein a Gutter Yohr, for Alamin, after Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, things should be good for everyone. Okay, anyway, I did happen to see something very nice on Neilah from the Artscroll Machzor. Let's take a look at that right now. Here it is. Let's see, Neilah, it says about Neilah. Just as Yom Kippur is the climax of the 10 days of repentance, so Neilah is the climax of Yom Kippur. The heavenly judgment inscribed on Rosh Hashanah is sealed during Neilah. This is virtually the last opportunity for sincere repentance to reverse the judgment from death to life, from poverty to prosperity, from suffering to contentment. It behooves everyone, therefore, to rouse himself at this time to pray with concentration, feeling, and intensity, despite the weariness he feels in this final hour of the long fast. Mishnah Brura 6:23-3. That's in the Mishnah Brura. This final prayer of Yom Kippur is called Neilah, which means closing. According to one Talmudic opinion, the name alludes to the closing of the temple gates at the end of the day, the time when this prayer is recited. So one Talmudic opinion means the closing of the temple gates at the end of the day, which is the time when the prayer is recited. A second view states that the name refers to the closing of the gates of heaven at nightfall, when the day's prayers are over. Yerushalmi Brachos 4:1. In deference to the second opinion, we begin Neilah before sunset and extend its recitation to nightfall. In any case, Neilah is, so to speak, a last desperate appeal for God's mercy, a time when tears and fervent prayer can accomplish what we have failed to do since the days of soul-searching began before Rosh Hashanah. One should try to bring himself to tears during Neilah. An allusion to this is found in the verse that tells why Pharaoh's daughter took pity on the infant Moses. V'hine na'ar bocheh v'tachmol olav. Behold, the child was crying, and she felt compassion for him. So in other words, Moshe Rabbeinu, the child was crying, so she felt compassion for him. So in other words, tears can bring compassion. Tears can bring compassion. God will take pity if he sees that the plight of his children moves them to tears. Reb Yaakov Emden. God will take pity if he sees that the plight of his children moves them to tears. In order to facilitate the added fervor acquired for Neilah, various customs have been adopted. Among them the following: the Holy Ark is kept open throughout the Chazan's repetition of the Amidah. The rabbi, Rosh Yeshiva, or some other member of the community whose seniority, scholarship, and piety have won him everyone's respect serves as Chazan. Chazan is the one that davens for everyone. People at the head of the congregation. People stand for as much of Neilah as their physical condition permits. So it's good to stand as much as one can during Neilah and to try to bring oneself to tears if one can. People stand for as much of Neilah as their physical condition permits. Neilah has its own moving melody. The slichos of Neilah are a digest of those that have been recited since the beginning of the Slichos, period before Rosh Hashanah. Avinu Malkeinu is recited even if Yom Kippur falls on the Sabbath. And before Neilah, a respected leader of the congregation exhorts the people to tearful repentance. Not all of these customs are followed by all congregations. In other words, not everybody does every one of these customs. Of course, they do some of them, or whatever. Not all of these customs are followed by all congregations. Of course, although several of them are accepted universally. Neilah begins with Ashrei Uva L'Tzion, so that there will be an interval between the Shemona Esrei of Mincha and that of Neilah. Commentary to Ashrei appears on page 324. Uva L'Tzion, the most important part of the Uva L'Tzion prayer is the recitation of the angels' praises of God. The Talmud, Sota 49a, declares that since the destruction of the temple, even the physical beauty and pleasures of the world began deteriorating. If so, by what merit does the world endure? Rava teaches the Kedusha in the prayer. The Kedusha in the prayer, Uva L'Tzion, and the recitation of Kaddish following the public study of Torah. Rashi explains that after the destruction, the primary focus of holiness in the universe is Torah study. In Uva L'Tzion, the sages combined the scriptural verses containing the angels' praise of God with the interpretive translation of Yonasan ben Uziel. Thus, this prayer itself constitutes Torah study. And its recitation involves the entire congregation in Torah study. So when one is saying Uva L'Tzion, it constitutes it is as if one is studying Torah and its recitation. And its recitation involves the entire congregation in Torah study. The emphasis on Torah study is further stressed by the latter part of Uva L'Tzion, which lauds the study and observance of the Torah. The Kaddish after public Torah study is an affirmation of the Torah's central role in Jewish existence. The Kaddish after public Torah study is an affirmation of the Torah's central role in Jewish existence. So this is more on Uva L'Tzion here. Uva L'Tzion Goel, a Redeemer shall come to Zion. God pledges that Messiah will come to redeem the city of Zion and the people of Israel. Not only those who remained righteous throughout the ordeal of exile will be saved, but even those who had been sinners will join in the glorious future if they return to the ways of God. Here, okay, we can record this. It can be read. So anyway, this is from the Machzor of, this is the Machzor of Yom Kippur, the complete Artscroll Machzor, with the English translation and the notes. So one can get this readily, very easily, in any store. So this is what we can learn a few things about Neilah. Thank you very much. Good Yohr, good bench the Yohr. Kol Tov. Alles gut.